Good morning, everyone. Bonjour, Ani. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that the land where we are today is the traditional territory of Garden River First Nation, as well as the Métis First Nation and Batchewana First Nation. Chi Miigwech for sharing your land with us today. It's an honor to be here as well. I love being here at Algoma Steel. It's such an amazing place to be with my good friend who I have the pleasure to announce. Ladies and gentlemen, I've stood here before in 2018 when Donald Trump had put tariffs on steel then. We all stood together, shoulder to shoulder, and we fought, we protected, and we got through it. But this time, this has been unprecedented, what we have seen from the American administration. So I am so glad to have Mark Carney as our Prime Minister here today. And I think this is a testament to how Sault Ste. Marie and the Algoma District has stood strong, Canada strong. It is so important to the people that Prime Minister Mark Carney is here. We're standing with you, sir. It is absolutely amazing what you have done in shepherding us through to this point in time. You know, we just have America across the river, and I know for a fact that this is ground zero in this battle against these unjust and unfair tariffs, threats to our economic sovereignty. You know, this is absolutely unprecedented, so I am so glad that you are here today, Prime Minister Mark Carney, with Diana, your wife, with you as well. It's amazing our spouses are so important to us as we campaign in this absolutely critical election. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to let you know that right after the Prime Minister was chosen by the Liberal Party, I wrote a letter to the then Prime Minister days after, pointing out that your ideas of building big, building like we've never built before, you know, and pointing out that Algoma Steel right here makes plate steel, military-grade plate steel that can be used in armored vehicles and in ships. And I wanted to, you know, express that in that letter. And I'm so glad, Mr. Prime Minister, that you have throughout the country pointed out that as you build big, that you will use Canadian steel, aluminum, and wood in this major, major building project. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together and welcome Mark Carney, who is standing here with these workers that he is going to protect. We will be there for you through and through. We're going to win this trade battle with this man. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Terry, for that kind introduction. Thank you for the letter. Et merci à tous nos exceptionnels candidats libéraux à travers Ontario. Above all, I want to thank Mike Garcia, Kate, and Algoma Steel for hosting me and us this morning. And I'm going to talk a lot about steel. I'm going to talk a lot about building and a lot about the future. But before I begin, I just want to take a moment to offer my deepest condolences to the family of Connor Dunn, a promising local hockey player and, by all accounts, incredible young man who was tragically killed on the weekend. I know how tight-knit communities such as the Sioux are, and how you live and breathe the game in a young individual like that, and so our thoughts and prayers are very much with you at this time. As Terry just emphasized, Algoma builds what Canada needs right now, what Canada needs for the future: steel. We need steel to build our rails and our transportation lines, to build out our energy infrastructure. We need steel to build our autos, steel to build our ships. We need high quality, Canadian-made steel to build greater prosperity. And how you build it, how you build that steel also is what Canada needs right now. With ambition, with innovation, a willingness to work hard and work smart. You know, we are literally weeks away from the first test run of the electric arc furnace line, which is going to take 70% of the carbon out, a huge investment that's been made alongside the Government of Canada, the Government of Ontario. This is how we build Canada strong. Now, we know, and Terry just mentioned it, people at Algoma, the people of the Sioux, people across Canada, we're living through the biggest crisis of our lifetimes. And just yesterday, President Trump repeated his attacks on Canada. And I'll paraphrase. He said Canada should not play any part in the American auto industry when we play a central part in the American auto industry. He has put, for the second time, illegal and unjustified tariffs on aluminum and on steel. So he's threatening Canadian workers in auto manufacturing and workers throughout the industry's supply chain, including here at Algoma. So let me be equally clear. This is Canada. We decide what we do here. The President's latest comments are more proof, as if we needed any, that the old relationship with the United States that we've had is over. And it's proof, and it's a reminder, it's a call to action that we need to chart a new path. That's the new reality. Le Président Trump menace le Canada, l'allié et partenaire le plus fiable des États-Unis. Il menace nos entreprises. Il menace nos travailleurs. Il menace les économies de nos retraités. President Trump, his words and actions, he wants to divide us because dividing us would make his job easier. He's trying to break us so that America can own us. And that will never happen. We will stand with the auto workers, with the forestry workers, the aluminum workers, and above all, the steel workers. We will stand with every single Canadian worker targeted by President Trump's attacks on our country. We will stand with you. And crucially, we will fight, protect, and build. We have implemented our own counter tariffs, which will cause maximum damage in the U.S. and have only minimal impact here. On steel and aluminum, our tariffs match fully the scale of the U.S. assault. And we are returning all of the proceeds, every dollar, from those tariffs to protect our workers and the businesses that are most affected by this trade war. Anticipating this crisis and the severity of the crisis from day one, my government has helped Canadian businesses weather the storm. We're providing companies with the option of up to $40 billion in liquidity or direct financing, including by deferring tax payments. This will allow those companies to take longer-term decisions without undue pressures from short-term trade actions. A few weeks ago, in Windsor, we pledged to create a $2 billion strategic response fund that will fortify the entire Canadian auto supply chain, from finished vehicles to steel. We launched a Made in Canada strategy to address a Made in America problem. We're developing new markets with reliable partners. We have never taken our eye off the ball. We're also using all levers available, everything that's available to the government to support our steel industry. We will maximize Canadian steel, aluminum, and other critical minerals from exploration through to battery production. We'll maximize the use of those materials to seize this economic opportunity, to create higher paying jobs, and ultimately to build the strongest economy in the G7. We will now deploy a Made in Canada procurement strategy that will prioritize Canadian steel, Canadian aluminum, and Canadian critical minerals. We will create Buy Canadian standards for federal infrastructure funding and for national defense projects to maximize our use of Canadian steel. This, as we boost Canadian domestic defense industries, and I stress domestic defense industries and production, as we build security relationships with our most reliable partners, including in Europe. Ça inclut la participation du Canada au plan Réarme Europe pour appuyer la sécurité transatlantique tout en générant des investissements ici au Canada. Nous allons utiliser tous les outils à notre disposition en tirant profit des avancées technologiques et haute innovation pour bâtir des maisons à un rythme qui n'a pas été vu depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. In our strategy to double home building, we'll invest in our homegrown building industry, supporting workers and businesses and driving the adoption of Canadian mass timber, modular, prefabricated technologies. This too will benefit our key industries, including steel. We will unite our country and invest in nation-building infrastructure on a scale not seen in generations. This means major nation-building projects, ports, rails, bridges, tunnels, and much more. Projects that will connect Canada and grow our economy in ways that last for generations. Again, benefiting key industries, including steel. And in this process, we will safeguard our economy and our values. Nous travaillons en partenariat avec les provinces, les territoires et les communautés autochtones pour accélérer la réalisation de projets majeurs. Nous allons bâtir ces projets d'intérêt national à une vitesse sans précédent, en utilisant l'acier et l'aluminium d'ici, les minéraux critiques d'ici, les travailleurs d'ici et les entreprises d'ici. Nous allons doubler le nombre de logements que nous construisons par année en nous appuyant sur l'expertise de nos travailleurs et entreprises et en utilisant le bois canadien. Nous allons bâtir une seule économie canadienne, pas 13. Bâtir une économie canadienne forte. Bâtir un Canada fort. Nous allons mettre en position de force, une position de force pour négocier et renégocier des attentes commerciales. We can control our economic destiny with the right plan. A plan that uses overwhelming force to overcome the anxieties that people naturally feel, to break through the fog of uncertainty that businesses face, and above all, to replace what the crisis is taking away. As the private sector retreats, government needs to step up to provide direction, to catalyze action and investment. And that's what our plan to build Canada strong will do. Pierre Poilievre has no plan to stand up to President Trump. He's literally grasping at straws as Canada faces the gravest crisis of our lifetimes. He's pledging to end childcare, dental care, farmer care, the CBC. He's ignoring the investments we need to build the strongest economy that works for everyone. He's offering Canadians instead a fantasy of fiscal tricks and phantom growth. In contrast, we will catalyze up to $500 billion in investment and create a total of up to $20,000 in economic value for every Canadian over the next 5 years. Because, unlike Pierre Poilievre, I've managed budgets before. I've managed economies before. I've managed crises before. This is a time for experience, not experiments. And as I have been clear from the start, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country, and we will fight them. Because we know that in a crisis, you have to prepare for the worst, not hope for the best. You must build forward, not cut back. In a crisis, you need bold action, not tired ideology. And above all, in a crisis, we need to bring people together, not pull them apart. Le choix devant nous ne pourrait pas être plus clair. Face à cette crise, allons-nous nous soumettre aux volontés des Américains ou allons-nous nous tenir debout? Allons-nous couper dans ce dont nous avons besoin ou investir dans notre futur? I know how we can give each other far more than any Americans can take away. And I know how, as America retreats from the world, Canada can lead it. So this Monday, Canadians will choose who stands up for them as their Prime Minister. And I'm asking for your vote, for positive reasons, regardless of which party you voted for in the past. I'm asking for your vote to stand up to Donald Trump, to build a united Canada, to build Canada strong.